Alrighty, it is time again for a Mario Kart track tier list. Just all the tracks in the game ranked from worst to best. In like the C, D, and B tier-ish range, the ordering is not going to be too, like, crazy specific. I tried my best to rank everything in order in those tiers and the tiers above and below, but yeah, this is every track ranked from worst to best. I was thinking about starting in going in reverse order, starting with the best and going to the worst, but I don't know. I think I like starting from the bottom, getting all the ranty tracks out of the way first, so I can end on a high note and not be pissed off talking about tracks I hate. So, the worst track in the game. This is my third time doing this video, and for the third time we have a different worst track in the game, and this time around, the worst track in the game is Merry Mountain. I hate this course. Oh my god, who on earth finds this track fun at all? This track is boring, it looks fucking awful, the music is stupid, and literally it's just a giant loop. It's somehow a more boring version of Excitebike Arena, because the entire last 20 seconds of the track is just driving straight. This track sucks. I don't know anyone who likes this course, and I don't want to race on a Christmas themed track in the summer, bro. Get the fuck out of here with that shit. Merry Mountain sucks. I hate this course. The fucking turns, the whole two turns of the track are fucking janky, and the item box, the way they move is stupid, and the multiple paths doesn't even come close to redeeming this track. Terrible. And then the second worst track in the game is Amsterdam Drift. Previously the king of the worst track in the game, but you know, it's not like my opinion has become better on this course. It still fucking sucks ass. I just realized more how much I fucking hate Merry Mountain. But yeah, Amsterdam's still terrible. Looks awful. For a Wave 4 track especially. Terrible. Like, compared to the other, like, city tracks that came out in the same wave, terrible. The music, terrible. Like, going in water in a city-themed track, terrible. Like, why? Why do I have to go under some stupid canal for half the fucking track? And then get up and see fucking flowers where I can count the amount of edges they have on them because they're so fucking low quality. Terrible. Awful track. Blind turns, especially at the end. The end of this track is so fucking badly designed. It is, oh my goodness, like, even people that, like, have the layout memorized still get fucking thrown off by the ending. It is so misleading. Terrible. F tier. Alright. The third worst track in the game is a new addition to F tier, Koopa Cape. This was the track when the DLC first was announced that I wanted to see return the most. Because who doesn't like Koopa Cape? It was good in Mario Kart Wii, it was a bit worse in Mario Kart 7, and in this game it's fucking terrible. It does not look good. The frickin' underwater section is somehow more janky than it was in the Wii when there's less obstacles in the way. The fucking half pipes on the track are so bad. The music is the worst in the entire game. I literally get an ear infection just by listening to that shit, and it is terrible. It's terrible. Like, the underwater part soundtrack is literally the only time where my ears get a break. Otherwise, I'm gonna fucking mute my fucking TV. This track is terrible. Like, sure, it's still kinda Koopa Cape, but everything that was challenging or cool about the Wii version is just gone. Granted, some of it is probably for the better, like the waterfall at the end, not being insta-death just by touching it, but still, that gave the course more flavor. The freaking item sets on this course are terrible. Like, it's awful. I don't like this track in this game. F tier. Excite Bike Arena is 4th. Probably the highest Excite Bike's ever been on a track tier list for me. And it's similar to Amsterdam Drift. It's not like I've gotten a better opinion on it. It's just that more tracks have gotten worse. The thing about Excite Bike, though, is I don't hate the track. It's just one of the most boring tracks in the game. Luckily for Excite Bike, Merry Mountain is somehow more boring than an oval track where you trick for 20 seconds, turn, and repeat. But at least the music's pretty good. But, you know, I would talk more about Excite Bike, but that's the track, so... Alright. We have the 5th F tier track. This time the F tier is 7 total tracks, and not just my bottom 5. We gotta talk about Sunshine Airport. I do not like this course. This course is terrible. It's an airport-themed track where you spend 2 minutes, just kidding, 2 seconds, in the actual airport itself. There's nothing cool about this track. The only thing cool that I like about this track is going in the plane, and the plane passing by you when you're gliding down for fucking 10 seconds doing nothing. That's about it. Why do you have to go in the sky and have the fucking audio get the in-game audio get basically muted for no apparent reason, with that stupid song blaring over? And why is the little bag, like the conveyor belt thing, so fucking tiny at the end? You know how cool would be if you had to actually, it was mandatory and you had to like trick over a baggage claim? But no, it's just some stupid little outward lit thing that makes no fucking sense to have it there, and it's stupid. Yeah, this course sucks. Alright, the 6th F tier track is Berlin Byways. This track, similar to Amsterdam Drift, has a lot of stupid turns. Thankfully, it has some kinda cool alternate routes, I guess, like 1 or 2 of them, and the music is pretty good. But yeah, this track sucks. The frickin' thwomp things on the last lap are janky and stupid, and there's no cool shortcuts on this track, other than, ironically, the thwomp things. And it's just not a fun time. F tier. And the last track in F tier is also a new appearance in F tier, Water Park. Boring as hell. It's a Mushroom Cup track, I know. So it might not be the most fair to call it boring when it's intended to be that way. But oh my god, for a track called Water Park, this track is so, like, uninspiring. What is there that's cool? The only kind of cool part is the underwater part at the end. Well, towards the end, before the gliding section, where there's 2 fucking rides that are underwater for some fucking reason. Like, yeah, that's realistic. Like, and why is there a fucking Ferris wheel in a water park? You have the longest fucking turn in the entire game, where the anti-grav is not even used particularly well, and it's just, no, not for me. And that is the final F-tier track. Alright. Escaping F-tier for the first track in D-tier's Animal Crossing. I will admit, the winter theme for this track is kind of cool. And that's it. It's another super boring track. Getting item boxes from balloons is just kind of RNG and stupid. And, you know, the music is whatever except on the winter theme one. You know, anytime you make a track at nighttime, that gives it some bonus, because that shit looks amazing. But, yeah, this track is boring, stupid, and I don't like playing on it. D-tier. Same thing with Calamari Desert. Why does the entire track come down to the last lap of the track? Not even the last lap. One part on the last lap. Because have fun catching up after that. Terrible, shitty music. Why did they make the train part mandatory? And it's stupid. D-tier. I don't like this course. Get the fuck out of here with that shit. Another boring track. Tokyo Blur. It's got okay music, but the rest of the track looks like shit. And that's about it. That's Tokyo Blur. Because the gameplay is very dumbed down and simple. And, you know, wave one track for you. So, alright, after Tokyo Blur, we got another track that's basically the same thing in concept. Mario Circuit. You're just driving on road, and you have a couple turns. Whoop-de-doo. That's it. And while we're at it, we might as well talk about Donut Plains 3. Donut Plains 3 isn't really a circuit, but, I mean, it basically is, other than the one little water shortcut. That's about it. So, yeah. Very boring tracks, you know. Nothing inherently too wrong with them, just, you know, nothing exciting. Sweet Sweet Canyon is next. This track looks pretty damn good. And I like the two paths part, and that's about it. And I guess doing a shortcut through a donut is kind of cool. But other than that, very boring track. Lots of jank and stupid shit, and not fun. So, D-tier. Trying to speed through this a little bit more, just so I don't have to, have another 2-hour long video, but it might still end up being that anyways. But we got Dry Dry Desert next. This track is just like Calamari Desert. Comes down to the last fucking part. Like, I was in first place on this track one time, going into at the end. I didn't get hit a single time, and I got 12th place. Yeah. D-tier. Alright, Moo Moo Meadows is next. Boring. Cows are fun, I guess. It looks amazing, and that's it. It's Moo Moo Meadows. Congratulations. You lost the boring allegations. Same thing goes for Cheep Cheep Beach. I mean, it's basically what I just said for Moo Moo Meadows. Boring, looks pretty amazing, fish are cool, that's it. D-tier. Now, Daisy Cruiser. What can I say about this track? It's, I like the concept, the GameCube like had some of the coolest design tracks. Driving on a cruise ship is cool, but it's just boring. I mean, the freaking track highlights Goombas and fucking buoys, but you don't even go in the pool. You have no reason to do that. And I wish the fucking cannon route was actually, you know, good, but no one takes it because it's slow. And that's a huge problem with the next course on the list, which is Yoshi Valley. What's the point of having 7 or 8 different ways to go if everybody uses one path? I try to be different and take a different way, but I end up falling behind because I'm not taking the fastest route. It is just a failed execution design track in this game. Like, fairly executed is what I meant to say. It's just, no. The egg is janky, the shortcut at the end is broken, and that's it. Terrible. Yeah, terrible. And the last track, in D tier, is another city track from, in fact, it is the first track from the DLC Paris Promenade. Looks okay, gameplay is pretty boring, music is pretty good, and that's about it. You go around a piranha plant, but other than that, you're just driving. So, D tier. Alright. C tier. These tracks start to actually have some stuff worth talking about on them, so let's talk about the most overrated track in the game, Yoshi's Island. Now listen, if you like the whole Yoshi series, then go off, because this track has a lot of care put into it, designed around the series. And if you like it for that, that's fine. Me, that does not apply to, so I hate this course. I don't hate it, because it's in C tier, but it's so overrated. Every single time this track shows up, at least 9 people pick it. I don't know why. The music is overrated. Everyone gasses that shit up. It's pretty good, but that's, no. The shortcut at the end, I've already explained in my previous videos my hatred for it and how poorly designed it is. I will always applaud a game for taking risks and trying something new, but in my opinion, at least, I don't like it. And I think it had the chance to be really cool, but instead, like, when you're in the back, you just have it for free because someone else hit it. Like, it's basically you just hoping someone else hits it for you, which usually happens. And the person who had to go out of their way to try and hit it just helped out every single person behind them. So, yeah. But, you know, other than that, it's not too bad. So, it's C tier. Peach Gardens is next. You know, was never the biggest fan of this track. Although going backwards on the final lap is really cool. I will give him that. It's very unique. No other track really does something like that. And I like it for that. However, they just made the broken shortcut at the end instead of at the beginning, which is not cool. I'm all for having a shortcut at the end of the track, but when it's something that good, like, if you're in the middle of the pack and you don't get a speed item, you're just cooked. That's it. You're done. You're getting 10th place or lower. So, yeah, C tier. Not too bad, though. Maple Treeway is next. Another Wii track that's kind of disappointed me in this game. I don't like the way it looks in this game, and the half pipes are... The one half pipe is so bad, but it feels so necessary because there's coins and item boxes on it. The freaking half pipes were not designed with this game's engine in mind. It was introduced in Mario Kart Wii, where it actually functions well. The way the half pipes are in this game, pretty much all of them, the camera angle is so bad that you cannot see where the hell you are going when you are going down. I know that's just a small portion of the track, which you don't even have to do, but considering there's coins at item boxes, it's heavily incentivized to do so. And you can't get stars out of the leaf piles anymore. Like, come on. And yeah, it's okay. We got Boo Lake next. You know, just a pretty standard like Boo theme track. I mean, nothing too crazy. You know, I like the ending with all the the little tricks at the end, and how the finish line kind of just appears in front of you at the end. But the shortcut is kind of janky, and that's basically the track. So it's C tier. SNES Mario Circuit 3 is only in C tier because it's iconic, but you know, it actually has a couple of shortcuts that make it more unique than, say, Mario Circuit and Donut Plains. Like, there's some stuff to it, and I like the off-road tech on the corners where you can just drift over it. That's cool. I fuck with that, so it's pretty cool. Royal Raceway is just Mario Circuit, but way cooler. Love the design of it. This is probably the coolest raceway theme track, as it kind of feels like you're in one. Like, the giant crowd at the end to watch you finish is cool. And the shortcuts at the end aren't too broken. They're good, but you can front run this track and still be okay, so it's C tier. It's not too bad. Bone Dry Dunes is next. Cool design for a track. There's just so much jank in it, and the dry bones at the end are kind of funny, but at the same time, the amount of times I've hit one of these fuckers at the end and lost a race because of it is, oh my god. But you know, music's okay. You know, it's just nothing too crazy. There's just a lot of really cool tracks in this game, and I can't put everything in the upper tiers, but you know, it's just nothing crazy. Same thing goes for Cloud Top Cruise, which is next. Another track which I can't find for some reason, but you know, it's got some stuff on it, you know, just like every other track in the game. But you know, the lightning at the end is kind of cool. I like it. Shortcut at the end is stupid and janky. I know I've been using that word a lot, but it's way too tight on the ship section, which isn't necessarily a bad thing since it's kind of unique, but I don't know, there's a lot of weird stuff going on this course. And it's just a way less cool, like, Sky theme track than a track, say, like Sky Garden. It's kind of outclassed. So, C tier for Cloud Top Cruise. And Twisted Mansion is next. You know, for a track called Twisted Mansion, I mean, you don't really feel the twistiness of it too much. I mean, the turns are pretty sharp on some parts of the track, like especially the beginning of the underwater section, and that's kind of cool. Driving through like the little bonefish things, but yeah, you know, the shortcut at the end takes a bit of skill to pull off, believe it or not. So that's kind of cool, and the knights like throwing hammers down is kind of cool, but most of the gameplay on this track is so boring. Like, so it's whatever. Alright, we got the worst Rainbow Road in the series, which is the Mario Kart 8 version. Next. Now, just because it's the worst Rainbow Road in the series does not mean it's awful. I feel like I've given this track a bit too much hate, in the past. It's still not even close to the other ones in the game, in my opinion. But there's some stuff like the differing paths and the shortcut where you go from one path to another that everyone does, and you know, it's in a space station, which is a cool design and concept, but it makes the track look way too artificial and not rainbowy. I mean, just look at the picture, man. It's yellow. Like, compare that to this one, you see all these different colors, and there's the Wii version, look at all these different colors. Same thing with N64's Rainbow Road. Not as much, even in the 3DS's picture you can see a bit, but look at this, it's yellow. So, not super rainbow. I mean, it looks a bit better when you're actually racing on it, but, you know, the music is nothing crazy. And the ending is okay, I guess, but, you know, I keep saying, you know, I'm sorry, but, you know. It's C tier. We got Vancouver Velocity next, followed by Los Angeles Laps. We'll just talk about these two Wave 5 city tracks together. Both these tracks have some cool stuff going on. Vancouver is just a strictly less cool Singapore Speedway. Still looks really good, kinda. The city itself does not. It just looks way less good than Singapore. And Los Angeles, they butchered the song. Come on, the song was so good. Why do you have to go through oil mines? And at least Vancouver, you go through a hockey stadium, which is Rogers Arena. But, you know, they don't have the listings to that, so it's just a Mario stadium with people dancing on it. So, you know, city tracks, different every lap. But compared to the other ones in the game, these are nothing crazy. Coconut Mall is next, a very watered down version of the Wii's version, but still got that Coconut Mall feel to it, kinda. It's very barren though, it's a Wave 1 track. There's a lot of open space and nothing crazy. The beginning is the only good part, because that still feels pretty hectic. Everything else is just super boring, and I'm very disappointed with how this track turned out. You have another city track, New York Minute. This one's a little bit better than the other two. Although the third lap is very short, but I like the nods that they took with this track more, as you go through Central Park and you see Rockefeller Center and stuff like that, which is way better than fucking Santa Monica fucking laps right here. Like, what about this track speaks Los Angeles, dude? Come on. Vancouver has some pretty cool nods, but, you know, I said you know again, I'm sorry. We got Shy Guy Falls next. Another pretty cool design for a track, but there's a lot of janky parts, and the music is kind of whatever. Racing at the waterfall is just a lamer version of Mute City. The gliding section is kind of whatever. But there's some dynamic aspects to the gameplay, so it's in the upper end of the C tier. Mario Kart Stadium is next. Very cool designed basic track, first track in the game. You know, we're starting, I'd say Mario Kart Stadium is the first track that I would like willingly pick, given a specific scenario, how I'm feeling. But it's still in the bottom half of the game. It's very basic, but it looks incredible. The music is pretty damn good. And the motion glide tech at the end, which I am too lazy to try and learn how to do, is cool. And all the off-road shortcuts, and it's cool. It's a very cool first track for a game. We got Tick-Tock Clock next. It compared to the DS version, it's just kind of just more janky. Like with the addition of like the swinging things, and the ending with the gears does not feel as cool. And the song is whatever. It's not as cool as the DS's version. And yeah, a lot of the turns are iffy, and especially the shortcuts on the hands of the clocks, while cool, very janky. I'm just bad at the game, I know. We got Swamp Ruins next. This track is like close to being pretty damn good. Like, it looks pretty great, the music's pretty good. Why is the track so wide and open? Why? There's literally so much space on the track where you could just dodge everything. Now, I'm bad at the game and still get hit by everything, but still. Like, the ending is so boring too. Like, you just go straight. It's not nearly as bad as Merry Mountain, but yeah, you just go straight. That's the end of the track. Like, the coolest part of the track is like the cave part towards the beginning with the little rolling boulders, but even then, it's so wide. And there's a path where you can take to avoid them entirely. So, and sometimes trying to get to the gliding section is janky too. So it's okay. It's C tier. Now we got Daisy Circuit. The more I like see this track in this game, the more I kind of like it. The music is better than it was in the Wii version. Look at that picture, dude. This is just gorgeous. I mean, any like sunset track is kind of gonna have that advantage. But I would say, out of all of them in this game, Daisy Circuit looks the best. Wow. It's really cool. But the gameplay, other than the shortcut in the beginning, is very dumbed down and simple. It's also kind of wide, like Swamp Ruins. Not as wide, but it's C tier. And the final track in C tier is Mute City. Mute City, it's fast. The problem is, it's fast the entire time. And it's very dependent on the ending shortcut. Yeah, I mean, it feels a lot like you're playing F-Zero, which is cool, and the music is pretty damn good. But it's just worse than Big Blue in like every way. So, but it's still a cool design track. It's the top of C tier. Alright. We're in B tier. These are the tracks you'll definitely see me start picking consistently, so let's start with a newer addition to the upper tiers, GBA Mario Circuit. This is a really cool Mario Circuit, I'm not gonna lie. I gave this track way too much hate, probably because of how OP bagging is on it, but I like the direction they took with the anti-gravity part, similar to Mario Kart Stadium. The music is pretty fucking heat, I'm not gonna lie. It looks really good. The turns are kind of difficult, which is good and cool. It's just the ending is a little jank. You'll probably see me put the clip of a bullet bill over it if I remember to put it in the video, but yeah. It's pretty good. I like this track, so it's going in B tier. And now we get to a track that receives way too much hate, Sunset Wilds. Now listen, is it a more watered down version of the Game Boy's version, yes. There's no Shy Guys in the middle of the road, and the sun doesn't set. Oh, boo-hoo. It still takes place in sunset time. Calm the fuck down. But yeah, the track is pretty cool. The music bangs, it looks good. I like the tech with the mud, driving in a very specific spot to circumvent the disadvantages for taking a tighter line, and you know, I think it looks great. So Sunset Wilds, B tier. Choco Mountain is another track that gets a bit too much hate, in my opinion. Looks good. Again, it's a bit more watered down, like the boulders at the end are not nearly as much of a problem, and you can't fall off and fall off and have to go back around the entire loop again at the end, but this track has always had charm to me. It's a bit of a personal bias pick. I like it. B tier. It just doesn't feel as janky, which is something I'll always welcome. Wildwoods is next. Another like really good looking course. And parts of the gameplay are really cool. The beginning is really fun. And the ending is kind of a nail-biting thing. There's a shortcut which isn't too broken. And you know, it just feels very short. Like by the it does not take long to get to the waterfall part, and once you're done with that, you're basically done with the course. So, you know, I wish it was a little longer, but it's B tier. All right, we got DK Jungle. Next, very similar design course with the whole jungle theme. I just like this one a little bit more. I'll always welcome tracks where it's encouraged to be in the front of the pack. It is quite difficult to catch up on this one, but I mean, oh no, play one of the other fucking 94 tracks in the game where you can be in the back and still win, so congratulations. But I like this track. I like the banana temple, the things screaming at you, the frogs, music bangs, and yeah, it's good. Alright, we got another pretty good looking track in Rosalina's Ice World. This track does not look nearly as good as it does in Mario Kart 7. That track is incredible looking, but it still looks good. I mean, look at that picture, dude. It's no Singapore Speedway, but it looks great. And, you know, it has the freaking half-pipe syndrome with the angling. But the gameplay feels fair for the most part. It's not too wide. The turns are challenging at times, and I like the top path of the ice or going underwater. Both are cool options, and this song is pretty good. It's a B tier course. Very similar is Rome Avanti. It doesn't have the half-pipe problem, but this track again looks phenomenal. Like, for the DLC, I'd say Wave 6 and Wave 4 both gave us some of the most stunning tracks. I mean, when you think about all the DLC tracks I've talked about so far and said they look good, Daisy Circuit is Wave 6, Rosalina's Ice World is Wave 6, Rome is Wave 6, and some we'll get to later are from Wave 4. And yeah, like, compare that to a track like Koopa Cape, which was Wave 5. Not great. I mean, I did shit on Amsterdam, which was Wave 4, but that track just sucks, so come on. But yeah, Rome is one of the most gorgeous tracks in the game. There's some cool gameplay. The gliding sections are fun, and going through the Coliseum is cool. Great design. Yeah, Hyrule Circuit next. There's some janky parts, but really cool shortcuts. Love the sword design thing in the middle, like in the indoor part, and the Hyrule Piranha Plant looking things, and music is pretty damn good, and you know, it feels pretty fast paced. I like it. It's a B tier track. We got Ribbon Road next. I mean, this track is so janky, but that kind of gives it charm. The shortcut at the end is really broken, though. But, you know, everyone's going to be taking it because there's a gliding section right before it. So everyone's going to pull speed items. As that's just how the fucking item system works in this game. It's so greatly designed. I'm totally not being sarcastic. But this track, you know, is fine. Good music, looks pretty good. I like the vehicles in the bedroom with the teddy buggy and the biddy buggy and the scooty. I think the scooty's there. Or there's a different vehicle, I don't remember. But yeah, I like it. It's cool. I know, it's the standard cart, not the scooty. Unless I'm just talking out my ass, I don't know. But yeah, I like Ribbon Road. And we got Wario's Gold Mine next. It's almost a carbon copy of the Wii version, minus the jank. The bats are not nearly as egregious. The secret path is not nearly as broken. It's arguably slower than taking the main route. And, you know, it's just more polished. They removed the half pipes at the end that literally did nothing. And, yeah. It's Wario's Gold Mine. It's still a really good track. And I like it. It's B tier. And now we've probably got one of the biggest hot takes of the video. Waluigi Pinball is next. Yeah. The more I play this track, I mean, it still has like the cool design stuff with like the item roulette sounds, but my god, the ending of this track is so cluttery and janky and such a mess. Compare it to the DS, which is, you know, a harder game. The ending on the DS version, you know, you could still get hit by the bowling balls, or the pinballs, but if you hit the things in the middle, you'll still basically be going forward. If you even get close to the things in the middle, the things the ball bounces off of, you're going sideways or backwards and losing all your fucking speed, and you'll likely just get comboed into a pinball anyways. And the pinballs breaking the item boxes is fucking stupid. The amount of times I've gotten hit by a pinball and missed the item box at the same fucking time on this track is so annoying. And they removed the thing at the end when you enter the building again at the end, where it makes that cool like wah, 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 wah sound, like you just like got a high score or some shit. Like, I don't know, man. It's just not the same. It's still Waluigi Pinball. It's still got some cool shit, but it's not the best course in the game like a lot of people say it is. And similar to Yoshi's Island, at least 8 to 9 people are picking this fucking track every single time it shows up, so yeah. Alright. After Waluigi Pinball, you can talk about Riverside Park. Riverside Park is a Wave 4 track that looks amazing. And the music bangs, the little walking piranha plants are so cool. And, you know, You could front run this track or bag this track and get the same results. It's a really cool design track and one of the biggest glow ups for Game Boy course, especially since it was DLC. So you would expect, you see like courses like Mario Circuit and Ribbon Road from the main game getting all this crazy treatment, but I'd say Mario Kart Tour, this was ripped on, took a nice design for it, so I like it. Alright, we got Baby Park next. The epitome of chaos. That's the entire point of the track. It's rage-inducing, but it's Baby Park, and that's what it's meant to do, and I like it. And sometimes I like the race only lasting a minute. So yeah. You're never out of it on this track, and you're never in it. It's Baby Park. Come on. Another park is next, Music Park. Looks great. Love the design. Drifting on the xylophones and the little music, not so little, the fucking big ass music notes bouncing and being able to make the track trickable and doing shortcuts on tambourines, and it's cool. Most of the music was a little better, but it's fun time. Music Park is B tier. We got Athens Dash next. There's a lot of parts, especially in the background of this track, that just look so bad. And there's also quite a bit of jank on this track, but I just love the design. Like, doing tricks, like, in the broken down Coliseum, and, you know, climbing up a mountain, and going up a giant staircase to end the track, even though the Goombas are stupid. Music bangs, and I like it. Athens Dash, good course. Now we got one of the best circuit tracks, Yoshi Circuit. Yeah, I like this track. It looks great. Music bangs. Gameplay is very fair and honest. Shortcut at the end is not too broken. I know I've said all this already many times, but I mean, it's a bagging track, but you could still run this track, I reckon, and be fine. It's got the iconic beginning shortcut, and I like it. You know, there's a lot of cool off-road shortcuts to do. They can do shroomless, and it's cool. Yoshi Circuit. Rock Mountain is next. I just don't like the gliding section on this track. Way too long. But the ending is cool, going up the mountain and doing a shortcut through the entire wood section. It just looks too cartoony for me. Like, even if it got like the Wave 6 or Wave 4 like look to it. Actually, don't even remember. Maybe, I don't even. Was this a Wave 4 track? I don't even know. But yeah, and the music's watered down from the 7 version, which I've talked about before. But I like it. Rock Mountain, still a good course. Still got some cool stuff going through the cave, and the gliding shortcut going in between laps is cool. Yeah. We got Toad Circuit next, a personal favorite of mine. It's just too simple and doesn't look particularly great, but the music bangs. The shortcut at the end is kind of fun, and there's giant toads. Need I say more? And now we got London Loop. That song is amazing. The rest of the track is pretty cool. Doesn't look particularly great, but I like how long the last lap is. Makes you still feel in it while still feeling the pressure. And, you know, it's just that one shortcut is so broken. Where the chain shop is, but, you know, that music, man, so fucking heat. Go listen to it. Another personal favorite is Snowland. Probably is the best shortcut in the entire game on the level. At least it's in the beginning, though. It's not at the end. I like how slippery this track feels. It's unique. Music bangs. And there's penguins. It's cool. And I got one last track in B tier. Ice Ice Outpost. The fact that there's two paths for the entirety of the track is really cool. Now, you're able to change which path you're on many times, which is also cool. But it's not like that the entire course. So, it's like you have to make a decision on the spot many times, and that's cool. And the shortcuts are really cool too, if you know how to pull them off. I suck at them, but I see how cool they are, and I wish I could be that cool. And the music is pretty good, and there's toads on the picture. I know that has nothing to do with the course, but I like it, and it is the top of B tier. Alright, A tier, starting with Squeaky Clean Sprint. This track kind of keeps going down for me. It's still really good. I think it looks terrible. But the music's pretty good. There's a lot of cool parts, especially in between laps, with all the different paths, triggering off death bombs, and the drain section, while super janky and tight, is really cool. And I like the section with the fan and fucking tricking off a toilet spewing water. So, I like the design, and it kind of heavily carries. So it's A tier. And Sherbet Land is next. Track looks incredible. Catchy song. And the gameplay commits no harsh sins. Everything feels fair all the time. And it's just an above average course. Unluckily for it, there's still a lot of tracks better than it, which is crazy, including DS Wario Stadium. I like this track a lot. I think it's just better than it was on the DS, with the whole anti-grav part, and going underwater is cool. And the gliding section at the end, it's similar to Thwomp Ruins in that aspect, where it's kind of just, you're going straight at the end, but it's not as long, and yeah, it's cool. And got that same music as Waluigi Pinball that kind of bangs, and I like it. Alrighty, after DS Wario Stadium, Toad Harbor. Toad Harbor has a lot of really cool parts to its gameplay as well, like tricking off like a boat, and the different paths which take up a lot of the track. There's so many ways to go, and it's not slower or anything. Even at the end, when you're driving straight down, you can take a detour and go in this weird path. You could trick off of a trolley. Like the music, I don't know if I said that already. And, you know, it looks really cool, and there's toads. Need I say more? It's GOAT. We got Madrid Drive next. That song bangs. The Wiggler sleeping bangs. Taking a shortcut through people eating lunch bangs. Going through an art museum bangs. Going through a soccer ball stadium with giant feet kicking soccer balls bangs. And yeah, it's really cool. You know, it's just got, you know, a lot of simple city track gameplay in it for good portions of it, but that's about it. Everything else about this track is fire. It could look a little better, I guess, but it's good. And it's A tier. Mushroom Gorge is next, and it's Mushroom Gorge. The gap jump is still really cool. I mean, it's kind of broken, but you know, at least it takes some execution to pull off. So it's kind of rewarding in that aspect. It's not brain dead like fucking dry desert, calamari desert. The mushrooms are somehow not janky like they were in the Wii version, and you know, it's still got that iconic soundtrack, and it's fire. You got Sky High Sunday next. This is probably the most unique feeling track in the game with how floaty it is. A lot of people hate on it for that, but it makes it feel different. It's one of a kind. It's just cool. It's just a strictly cooler Excite Bike arena in every way. It looks so much better, and there's many different branching paths and gliding sections and cool 200cc shortcuts, and music is good, and you know, I like it. It's great. I like it a lot. Alright, yeah, Waluigi Stadium next. This track is amazing. It looks so good in this game. Wave 4 track, by the way. And I mean, look at the mud. The texturing on it is so good. They added so many different paths to this track in that part, and the half pipes somehow don't feel janky on this track, and I like it. The tires feel fair, and the piranha plants feel fair, and it's great. It's a jam. That music bangs. It's A tier. Yeah, 3DS Rainbow Road next. aka 3DS Blue Road. The road is too blue. You can kind of see it in the picture. There is a toad on the picture though, so the picture is fine. It has nothing to do with this ranking, but you know, 3DS's Rainbow Road in Mario Kart 7 is the best Rainbow Road in the series. In this game, it doesn't look as good. The moon section is way too dark, and the final lap is way too short and stupid. Most of it is boost panels, and then it's 2 turns. Congratulations, what a great design final lap. But still, you're driving on Saturn and shit, going through the moon's great. It's still really good. And the music is probably better in this game, so that's something. It's A tier. Rumble Volcanoes next. I feel like I never race this track anymore online. I never fucking see it show up, and it's so fucking cool. It looks incredible. Got that iconic Rumble Volcano soundtrack. You're dodging fucking eruptions and watching the track fall apart, and the gliding section is a nice touch and cool ending shortcut. It's great. It like, especially the cave section, it looks so good. Oh my god. Grumble Volcano is A tier. Just like Electrodrome. This track is amazing too. They're from the same cup, I'm pretty sure. And wow. The amount of like little details put into this track with how the music changes, like driving on that road in the beginning, and then at the end when you're drifting on the last parts, it's fire. And the music itself is amazing. You got fucking Koopa Troopas and Shy Guys and shit dancing on the big jumbo screen, and it looks great. Fucking glowing piranha plants. Hello? I just wish the ending shortcut wasn't as janky. And yeah, the two differing paths is great. Because they're like so thin, it actually incentivizes people to take different paths, so you don't have to worry about getting hit by items, even though I think the pink path is a little faster. But yeah, it's good. I like it. We have 3 tracks left in A tier, and the first one of these is DK Mountain. This is the best variant of the track in the series. The shortcut is the best it's ever been design-wise. In Mario Kart Wii, you just slow down and steal all the item boxes, and it's free. In this game, it takes a bit more skill, and it's cool. Driving the mountain itself looks incredible in this game. You can freaking land on it, like land on the rock part of it, which is really cool by doing a trick. The volcano itself looks incredible too, like the texturing and the design of the face looks so good. And the bridge at the end doesn't feel janky anymore, and it's great. I like it. It's really good. Second to last track in A tier is Piranha Plant Slide. Looks like phenomenal in the freaking pipe section. The ending is whatever. Shortcut's broken. But the music is sick. The design is so cool. You have piranha plants trying to chop your ass off, and it's amazing. I love it. It's just a track that screams Mario Kart. It's just the underwater section was a bit cooler, but yeah. And the last track in A tier is N64 Rainbow Road. This track would be like top 5, top 10 if it was even 15 seconds longer, 20 seconds longer. This track is too short, and with how long, you know, the one lap is, it's kind of hard to find a medium ground. Like 3DS Rainbow Road was designed to be a 1-lap track. This track was designed as a 3-lap track, and on the N64 it takes like 5 minutes to do the track. In this game you finish the race in like 1minute 10 seconds, which is a shame because there's so much cool stuff in this track and care put into it, with the train throwing coins, that music bangs, the fireworks look so cool, and you can see the city below you. Oh my god. I wish it wasn't so short. But it is the 23rd best track in the game as we head into S tier. To start off S tier, we're going to talk about all 3 of the tracks with cars on them: Shroom Ridge, Toad's Turnpike, and Moonview Highway. These tracks are all amazing. I love how the cars feel fair. All 3 of these tracks, especially Shroom Ridge, have banging OSTs. Toad's Turnpike is gorgeous and has gliding cars and skateboards, and it's cool. Moonview Highway has boost panels and a really cool looking design. Like for a Wave 5 track, it looks really good. And Shroom Ridge, you know, it's a bit lower than it is before. The music is so good, but you know, it's still really cool. I love like dodging the cars, and the shortcut at the end is cool. I figured I'd just talk about all these at the same time since they're all very similar in their design. So they get the Jack seal of approval. We got SNES Rainbow Road next, and I like this track a lot. Look at the rainbow swamps and freaking shaking the road up, and it's a difficult track, which I like because it's not janky. It's not janky at all. It just feels fair. while being difficult. Yeah, and the music bangs, looks amazing, and it's chaos, and I love it. It's just cooler Baby Park. That's what it comes down to. Yeah, Sky Garden next. Another track with an amazing soundtrack. And it just looks incredible too. Like, in terms of those aspects, it's like top 10, top 5 in both. Top 10, or top 5 for sure in music, and top 10, top 15 in terms of aesthetic. The gameplay, though, is kind of whatever, so it's getting a bit of a demotion. Usually it would be like borderline top 10, top 5 range for me, but it's still amazing. I love this track, and it's great. We got Neo Bowser's City next, and yeah, this track is like for sure top 5 in terms of aesthetic, and the gameplay is challenging, similar to SNES Rainbow Road. Love the sharp turns. Shortcut at the end is not too broken, but still could provide an advantage. You have Bowser on this big neon screen, and the soundtrack is amazing. Oh, it's so good. I love this track. It's great. It bangs. Dolphin Shoals is next. OST's killer. Track outside of the water section looks so good. It looks incredible. Problem is, the underwater section in the beginning is not great. But once you get into like the cavern, it's great, and tricking off an eagle is amazing. I just wish you heard the saxophone part more of the song. But Dolphin Shoals, man, it's amazing. And now we probably have the single largest promotion in any of these tier list videos for me. In the last 2 track ranking tier lists, this track was ranked in C tier both times. And now it has leapfrogged up 3 tiers into S tier. It is the 15th best track in the game, in my opinion. It's Bangkok Rush. Holy shit, this track is awesome. Oh my god. Almost the entire track has different ways you can go. Like, you go upstairs, like, in like a metro station, you bounce off of freaking, like, balloon-shaped freaking market tents and drive through markets, race through a freaking canal, tricking off of fucking oars, and it's insanity. There's fireworks, the soundtrack, the music on this track has like 30 different instruments that have a melody to it. It's insanity. I wish the lighting on the track was a bit better. Like, I don't know why you would have fireworks on a track that's taking place during the sunset, but I mean, it's cool. And there's so much cool nods. Like, it makes it, like, I don't obviously know too much about Bangkok, but I can just tell that there was a lot of little details put into this track. It's incredible. Like, I think I've just been blindsided to how cool this track is for so long. When I first raced on it, I didn't like it because I thought the freaking shortcut, not the shortcut, the part of the track where it's like the big cube thing, like the parking garage type shit, was stupid, and I didn't know when that was going to end, and I just wrote this track off. But oh my god, this track is amazing, and it's a part of now what I think is the best cup in the game, the Boomerang Cup, and it's the first track in it. It's incredible. I don't know. I cannot believe how blindsided I've been on this track. and yet this track still probably receives so much hate because it's a city track and people just assume all city tracks suck. There's still 2 city tracks left on this list, and I just named so much cool stuff about this track. In fact, there's not even just 2 city tracks, there's freaking 14 more tracks. And the first one of them is Piranha Plant Cove. Now, I've only raced on this track like 3 times because it never shows up online, and when it does, no one picks it. Why? Piranha Plant Cove is like top 3 in the game when it comes to aesthetic. It looks absolutely amazing. The moonlit water and getting out into this freaking night temple themed area with freaking tiki torches, and oh my goodness, what, looking at like the water from above with the moon, oh my lord. The water shortcuts are so cool. The music is pretty damn good. This track is awesome. There's so many cool little gameplay parts. It's amazing. It's S tier. And fan favorite DK Summit is next. I mean, who does not like this track? Like, come on, it's Donkey Kong Summit. The gap jump is so cool. Every time you pull it off, it just feels so satisfying. Like, every YouTuber I watch still like pops off whenever they hit it, even though it's routine for them, because it's just so cool. Like, and Shy Guy is freaking going on the half pipes, which are not janky. I guess the if you want to do it at the very end, it can be a little iffy, but it's great. Iconic soundtrack. This track is just amazing. Everyone loves this track. We got just outside the top 10 at number 12, DS Mario Circuit. The best Mario Circuit in the series, bar none. On both the DS and this game. I mean, so much cool stuff in this track. Like, you drive through woods, which they added, and there's a wiggler in the road. You have giant Goombas and piranha plants shooting fire at you, and freaking the sand shortcut is a little broken, but I mean, every single track basically starts with a Mario Circuit, but the DS, this track was in like the Star Cup or the Special Cup, and it's a Mario Circuit. That's how you know they put more detail in it. Like, they had fucking Figure 8 Circuit as the first track, and that shit is ass. Although it shares the same banging OST, like the OST on this track is fucking amazing. Oh my god. Insanity. And the last track in S tier before we get to the top 10. Cheeseland. Oh baby. Bagging track, I don't give a shit. It's so cool. it's sick. I love the music, the chain chomps, tricking through cheese holes. It looks great. Oh my god. It's so fun. Like, it's so fun. I don't care that the shortcut at the end is so broken. Like, whatever. Everything else about the track is fucking amazing. And for that, it's number 11. Alright. We're in the top 10. The cream of the crop best tracks in the game. We're gonna start with Sydney Sprint. The second best city track in the game. It's so good. Looks great. Music is like peak. Sydney Sprint has like top 5 music in this game. Like, there's so many good songs in this game. It's impossible for me to rank them. It's tied for number 1 with like 6 other tracks. It's amazing. There's a lot of little details, like a Ferris wheel and going through the opera house, and so many cool sections. Oh my god, I love the section where you're on like the bridge and there's like so many different paths to go on. Oh my god. It's great. I wish it kind of looked a little bit better, but that's about it. Like, come on. It's great. It's Sydney Sprint. I could jam to that OST all day. while doing all these crazy, like, it's a city track that has a lot of cool gameplay to it. And yeah, it's fucking fire. We got Big Blue next, and holy shit, this track is amazing. You feel fast, however you can still pass people because the track is not just boost panels like Mute City. You drive under a ceiling of water while being shot through cannons and going on boost panels, and there's 2 different paths at the end. You could switch paths, which is actually faster. This track is similar to Sky High Sunday in the water part of Alpha Field, just because of the advanced shortcuts where you freaking leap from one part of the track to the other. And on 200cc, it probably has one of the most ridiculous shortcuts in the entire fucking game, where you can basically skip the entire portion, which is incredible. And it's heat. Big Blue. Number 9 and number 8, Ninja Hideaway. Yeah, you want to talk about different paths? That's the entire course, except the end. Even the end has 2 different paths. It's just like literally the very end. And the only bad thing I could say about this track is the very end is so janky and stupid. That's about it. Everything else about this track is fucking perfect. The music is peak. Like, it looks incredible. And I think Ninja Hideaway was Wave 1, and it looks that good. Like, hello? There are, like, so many different paths you can go on. Like, every time I watch gameplay on this track, I feel like I see a new way that I can go that I didn't even know about. Now, I know that there's not that many. I'm just bad, bro. This track is so incredible. Like, it feels pretty fast-paced. The gliding section's kind of whatever, but even then, like, there's still item boxes to get on it, which is really cool. And holy shit, like, the fucking temple, like, part, like, the dojo part, it's just so good. I don't know why there's spikes on it. It's sick. And, like, oh my god. Yeah, it's so good. Ninja Hideaway, peak. We got Mount Wario next. And I've said many times, this is like one of the most ambitiously designed tracks in the game. It's fucking amazing. Looks incredible. Final lap music's incredible. So many cool design parts. Like going through an ice cave, going through woods, going down a fucking ski slope, going into like a ski shaft factory, starting at the peak of a mountain, going down an icy road. Oh my, orgasmic. Mount Wario's peak. It's perfect. We got Wee Rainbow Road next. Slight demotion, it was top 5 in its first appearance on the tier list. Now it's number 6. Whoop-de-doo. It was number 4 the first time. You know, this is the closest thing we have to, like, peak Rainbow Road action in this game. I mean, I like pretty much all the Rainbow Roads other than the Mario Kart 8 one. This one's definitely the best, though. I mean, just because the gameplay is so active all the time, and the OST bangs, it looks incredible. It's the last track in the game. Like, you knew they had to end it with a bang. And yeah, it's just a less janky version of the Wii's version, which is always welcome. Peak. Alright, we got Super Bowl Subway next for the top 5. Incredible. I mean, I've talked about this track all the time. It's great. I love it. OST is tied for number 1 with a bunch of tracks. It's so good. Both versions are amazing. Dodging subway trains and the ending shortcut's not too broken, especially since you can do it shroomless and it still saves time. So many different paths to go on, all which are viable. it's perfect. Like, I don't need to keep talking about why I love this track. If you want to see why I love it so much, you can watch some of my previous videos. But yeah, I'm only going to talk about 2 more tracks in the game. I'm just going to rank the rest of them right now. I would say tied for third are the 2 Bowser's Castles, SNES BC3 and Bowser's Castle, and then Dragon Driftway is second, and Singapore Speedway is number 1. If you want explanations to why these 2 are the top 2 and have been the entire time, watch my previous videos. I'm not going to go and explain why I have an orgasm every time I talk about Singapore Speedway and Dragon Driftway all the time, but I want to talk a bit about these tracks because they're so close to being number 1 on the list. SNES BC3 is one of the best looking tracks in the series. It has one of the best OSTs in the series. It has some of the best gameplay in the series. It's just too short. That's the problem. Like, if this track was just a little bit longer, it might be like number 2, possibly number 1 on the list. Straight up. I'm not even lying. Like, this track is so sick. It's just too short. Like, it's not like crazy short. It's still kind of average length. I just wish there was a little bit more. And as for regular Bowser's Castle, I think regular Bowser's Castle has the best overall gameplay in the game. I love it. And the OST is amazing. And it looks great. I mean, the OST could be a bit better. That's just kind of holding it back a little bit, kind of. It's still amazing. It's just like, yeah. Bowser's Castle is arguably number 2. Like, I'd say these 2 tracks are really close. But SNES BC3 is just so close. Like, I would say SNES BC3, like, arguably has better gameplay than Bowser's Castle. It's just there's not as much of it. If SNES BC3 was as long as Bowser's Castle, it'd be number 1. That's it. So, like, this track is just so good. All these tracks are great. I mean, like, if we want to talk purely about gameplay, I would say Dragon Driftway is like number 2 or 3 in the game, so it's really not that much farther behind. I think Dragon Driftway looks a little bit better than Bowser's Castle and has a bit of a better soundtrack as well. That's why Dragon Driftway is number 2. Singapore Speedway is by far the best looking track in the entire series. Has really good gameplay and peak music. I mean, so that's why that's number 1. Again, watch my other videos if you want more specific explanations. And that's going to conclude the list. Let me get a nice zoom out to look at the whole thing. And yeah, that is it. The track tier list is done. And poopy balls.